Hello, my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of April 15th, where this week is actually quite busy, especially as we get to the end of the week. We've got stuff going every day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then, of course, on Saturday, we've got the big Jupiter and Uranus conjunction, and this is really going to be, an impactful energy into your chart, especially if you happen to have placements in Taurus or in some of the other earth signs. This is going to be really, I think, something a little bit more easy. But for all of us, this is also going to be an aspect that happens that, I want to say, this is the biggest aspect we have of the year. This is going to be the most impactful. But the truth is that depending on your chart, this may or may not be the most impactful thing that happens for you, but it will be a energy that you can absolutely take advantage of. So if you'd like to know a little bit more about what this means for you and how this is laying out in the cosmic sky, definitely rock and roll with me through this week. Now, in the description box down below, not only are you going to be able to find the timestamps for every single day, so you can just pop to a particular day if you'd like to see what the vibration is of that day, but also you'll be able to find a little breakdown for all 12 houses to see where the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is leaving an impact for you. So you can check that out down below. And now listen, if you're like, Stormie, I don't know how to find what house this is in my chart, that's okay. We're here learning astrology. So I've got a video and I'll make sure I put it here and I'll make sure I put it at the end of the video. And it's also in the description box down below on how to find the active transit in your chart. That way you can just see what house it's happening in for you, okay? So all of that good stuff is available. Now, if we haven't met before, I'm Stormie Grace. I'm a practicing professional astrologer, and I practice evolutionary and humanistic astrology. So that is important for you to know so that you understand what lens I'm using to deliver our astrological reports. Now, listen, super pumped. Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. One of the things that it means for all of us is that we have an ability for the first time in 14 years, because that's the last time Jupiter and Uranus came together, to actually build something Taurian, right? Now, they didn't come together 14 years ago in Taurus, but they did come together. And when they come together, they create this opportunity to expand something really new, really innovative. Now, in Taurus, this is going to be something that can endure. It can last for you for a very long time, from relationships. Maybe you're building a structure or something that can sustain you financially. The opportunity is here for you right now. And there couldn't be a better time in the world to be making your skills that you have and your talents available. They are a resource. Someone needs your skills and your talents. Something that you think is really very easy, someone else has no idea how to do that. And that is something that you can build a life off of. And I would love to be a part of helping you do that. So first of all, I've got my next 5-day YouTube challenge coming up. We meet together live. And by the end of the challenge, you leave knowing how to not only make YouTube videos, but how to make YouTube videos that speak to the algorithm. And also you learn how to make YouTube a profitable, yes, finances, bring money into your life, profitable resource in your life and a part of a potential business that you can build, or how to build a business all around YouTube itself. So if you're a creative entrepreneur and you are like, how can I really maximize the astrology that's available? Let's get your skills out there. Let's get your skills out there. Also, if you are interested, I am going to be teaching a business mentorship course with OPA, the Organization for Professional Astrologers, and all of that information is available down below. The course starts on June 8th, and there is only room for 6 people. So if that is you, jump in, and I look forward to walking forward with you, okay? And as always, you can go over to my website, stormiegrace.com, grab my free 8 Steps to Unlocking the Cosmos guide, especially if you're new or you need like a cheat sheet or a refresher. I got all that good stuff for you online, okay? All right, beautiful friends, let's get going over here into the weekend, starting off with Monday. First of all, coming in on Monday, the moon is in Cancer, so we're having a genuine moon day, Monday. So the energy is a bit easier, right? Like when the moon is comfortable, it's in its home sign of Cancer, we're coming into the week, and it's like, all right, let me just take it easy. Let's answer these emails. I'm not pushing, I'm not forcing. Monday can tend to be a little bit more reflective when the moon is traveling through Cancer. Now, what we're also going to see on Monday is that we see Mercury coming into a conjunction conjunction with Chiron that is in Aries. So in this reflection that we've got going on, first of all, Mercury is still retrograde in Aries. So we're looking back. What are you looking back on? First of all, the Aries house in your chart, or any planets that Aries Mercury may be talking to with that Aries energy, but you're looking back on things in that area of your life, but it's more so around your identity. Aries is of the identity, who I am, who I think I am, what I think about me, right? So you're looking back with Mercury conjunct Chiron, who's been the wound of the identity. You know, where being me has just been really flippin' painful or shameful. And now these two traveling together, Mercury's looking back and going, wow, that really was a piece of my story. That was a piece of my journey. And I understand how I thought that way, why I thought that way. I understand why those things made sense to me. I understood why that needed to be my identity. But you're also in the review and the introspectiveness that Monday has to offer. You're kind of in the space where you realize it, but you're looking, you're not staring, right? You're like, that's just not who I'm prepared to be anymore going forward. But it's very different. You realize it has to be very different going forward if you're going to have a different identity, because feeling like you're having a new year, new you, and actually living in a way that demonstrates that there's a different version of you playing out, this is like the introspectiveness I think that Monday has to offer. You know, and something else I think about with this Mercury Chiron conjunction here is really understanding the distance that a year makes in how you think and how you process information, really, truly, right? You know, if it was like, you know, you're reflecting back on year 35 and this year you're 36 and you're like, wow, that was only 1 year ago that I thought that way, you know? So whatever the wounds were to the identity back then, you're having a look, not an absolute stare, and realizing that moving forward, you can take on and make contact with the universe, with a higher version of yourself in a different way that allows you to live very, very differently. Now, the other thing that's happening on Monday that I think it's really profound for us to be talking about with all this reflection is that, first of all, we come into the space of the first quarter moon happening in Cancer, and it's going to be at 26 degrees of Cancer. So make sure you locate that on your particular chart, because with the first quarter moon, what we're looking at is that something was started. Now, back in July 17th of 2023, something started. We had a new moon at 24 degrees of Cancer. What did you start? You planted seeds of intention to begin something at that time. I want to start this. I want to have security in my life in this way. I want to have work, and I want to have work relationships in my life that feel nurturing, right? But now at the first quarter is a turning point where it's like, it took all of that time to really plant those seeds of intention. The universe was setting up your pieces, and now it's time to really take action. Okay, you are burning down. You are letting the universe tear down, which doesn't work for you anymore, to have that security, to have that nurturing. And you're taking action steps to actually build this thing forward. Now, this can feel really interesting this week because we've got this really intense Mercury retrograde that is more about, you know, the energy's burning. You want to go, you want to do something. What should I do? I mean, there has to be something I could be doing, right? But it's not time to fully take that leap forward. But this is your assurance that right here at this moon, that what you asked for back in July, it's ready for action, okay? You are going to be, especially as we close out this month, you're going to be ready to start you're gathering your information now about what does security mean to you? What is going on in your family life? What is going on in how you want and need to be nurtured, or you need to nurture other people in your life? And by the end of this month, you're going to be ready to take action on it. Now, in January of 2025, we're going to come to our next full moon in this lunar family, and you're going to be pivoting. Something that you're working on right now in January in that 26 degree Cancer area, in that house for you, it's going to be time to pivot. So keep your eyes on the prize and keep a little lunar family journal to see what it is that you're starting and you're pivoting from, okay? Now, when we get a little bit later in the early evening, we're going to see the moon step into the position of void, of course. So the energy, it's time to rest. We're not pushing. We're not doing anything. We're not starting anything new. You know, we're really reflective and just like put your head where your hands are at. Don't force something forward here on Monday. There's absolutely no need. And not only that, there's absolutely no energy for it. Now we're going to see the moon then move into the vibration of Leo. So, you know, we're not so reflective anymore. Now from the inside out, we're like extroverted. There's more creativity. There's a bit more courage. There's more fire. There's more bravery that comes to the surface. So one of the things too that I think when the moon gets into Leo that we can all ask ourselves is like, where am I taking myself just far too seriously? Like, where am I taking myself too seriously? You know, lighten up, chill out, laugh a little, play. What would happen if you just took the claw marks that you are putting into a situation out of it? What if you just relaxed for just a minute, for just 2 days, 2.5 days while the moon is traveling here through Leo? So it's a really good energy to do that. Plus, you know, I think practical things that help us remember to relax are really useful. Put on some good music. Now, I know that the internet will have us believe that everybody in the music industry is corrupt and bad right now. But, you know, somebody's making some nice music. Put it on. Let the beat come and get you, fill you, feel you through. Okay. It's really an awesome opportunity. Okay. Now, other things happening on Tuesday that we want to just keep our eyes on. First of all, it's actually a very quiet day. The moon is going to govern so much of the day. So you've got a day where you can be inspired, you can play, you can pull some of that creativity out. But when we roll around to Wednesday, we get this next boost of energy. And we're going to see Venus not only in a conjunction with the North Node, but Venus will also be, obviously, in opposition to this South Node. Okay, now this energy, first of all, Venus is wanting to bring a harmony, okay, and ease, a question of beauty, of receptivity, of attracting in, magnetism, not pushing, not going to get, not forcing, allowing it to come to you. Together with the North Node, Venus and the North Node are literally magnetizing you or you to something or someone to you. This is the day when the North Node gets involved, typically a person who is pretty important, even if they only pop up for 5 minutes and remind you about hope, about love, about beauty, about being valuable by just being. They show up and they start to, you know, your energy starts to move forward just a little bit. So you want to be mindful, watching, say yes. Make room for the universe to surprise and delight you when you are just taking it easy, when you're not out there, got your claw marks in your life. I got to do this. I have to make it happen, right? Relax. You have an innate value that you were born with. Attract with it. And it's a great time here to South Node, Venus opposing that South Node, to look at where you're surrendering a relationship with having to do everything, having to think about everything 100 times in order to make things work out. And instead being like, I am decisive, Aries. I am doing this one thing. I am doing it well. I am doing it with beauty. I am doing it with ease. I want to build a business with ease. I want to love my children with ease. I would like a sex life that has ease, a financial life that has ease. It's very decisive. It's very Aries. So it's a great day to, look for your cheerleaders who are also helping you cheer forward and move into those positions. Okay. Now, when we get through, I'm going to say this too. Okay, Wednesday, this is going to be fast. It's not going to last a ton of time, but it's worth mentioning. So the moon on Wednesday is also going to come into contact with both Jupiter and Uranus, as those two are traveling together. So the one thing you do want to be mindful of is when the moon is talking to Jupiter, that you practice moderation. And then when the moon just behind that is talking to Uranus, that you use it to let go of any outdated patterns or old beliefs that are no longer like emotionally serving you anymore. And you don't have to think about this in terms of like your whole entire life of a system of patterns and behaviors. Just in the last 30 days, where have you had some acknowledgement that you're like, yeah, you know what, emotionally, that is not very useful for me. But also I saw myself do this a month ago, and I'm ready for some liberation, right? So it can be a very, very liberating energy. Thursday, we're going to see the moon move into the vibration of Virgo. So now we're in mutable earth, okay? So in a very physical way, in the physical material touch it kind of way, you're making changes that will benefit your emotional life, right? First of all, where is there something in your space that you can just finish, transition? Virgo is a mutable energy. It takes us from this to this season to the next season, right? So where is there something in your physical material space that you can finish? Do you need to do the laundry? Do you need to take the trash out? Do you need to make that phone call to the tax people? Do you need to, where do you need to clean physical house? That this can be a good couple days that you can just get that done, and it will release the pent-up emotional energy that feels a lot like analysis paralysis, or it feels like everything has to be perfect before I share it, talk about it, expose it in some way. So when you take the physical action with a material earth sign energy, you can really get things moving, because it's almost like acting as the nurse or the medic or the caretaker to your own life, right? Like being of service to your own life. So it's a wonderful energy there. And someone gave me this tip, and this was about 2 months ago. So I just wanted to share this with you, because I'm always talking about foods that you can eat when the moon changes signs and stuff like this. But somebody was saying that when the moon gets into Virgo, you can bring in lavender and lemongrass. So what a beautiful tea that might make today. You know what I mean? Make yourself a little cup of lavender and lemongrass tea, maybe a little green tea, and sweep your kitchen. You know, let it be very, very practical, because the energies are moving. So sometimes we just have to have time to sit in the garden and do the practical things that need to get done. Okay, on Friday, now straight into the day, Mercury retrograde in a conjunction with Venus here in Aries. First of all, I do like this energy because it's fiery. It's still Aries. I don't care which direction it's pointed, it is still Aries. But more than anything, Venus may be convinced by Mercury in this time that, oh, I need to leap. I need to take this on. I need to go forward with it. And remember, we're not in a forward dimension. So instead, Mercury looking back at an old identity, old things that need to be done and need to be taken care of. But where the conversation with Venus looking forward is useful is that it shows you what your new beliefs and your new values are based on what you were thinking and doing and being before. And so now it's like, whoa, okay, I don't value that anymore. But the question will be here on Friday, I think, square off, is what do you value? Do you know what you want in your life? Saying, I want more abundance in my life, that may be a wrong statement, because you may have all of the abundance that you want in your life, but you lack the awareness that it's right in front of you and what resources you could be using. So really, it's this energy that I think is so beautiful, where Venus in this particular conjunction says, okay, well, what do we value and what do we want, so that I can magnetize, bring it to us. And also remember, if you don't know what you want, you don't know that you're not getting it, right? Listen, y'all, this is me too, okay? So really, let's get into that on Friday. What a beautiful energy. And then just to support all that Venusian goodness, we've got the sun moving into the energy of Taurus. Happy, happy birthday, Taurus. You know, I'm a part of the Taurus clan as well, so happy birthday. We're on, all right? Now, for everybody, this is also the annual celebration of the Taurus area of your chart. This is when this house and this department of life in your chart is going to start to get some energy, okay? All the way until we get to May 20th, May 21st, we're going to have the sun bringing light, heat, life, and vitality, a strength, an endurance, a value, things having to do with making things beautiful. But also remember, at an evolutionary level, Taurus's job is to calm the hell down. Calm down. Stop doing the most. We know you can do the most. Okay, calm the hell down. So think, in a material world, Taurus, earth sign, Where do you need to chill out? Where do you need to chill out and practice beauty? Taurus is ruled by Venus. Practice a deep receptivity. Practice understanding that you have an innate value without having to do everything, right? This is really, it's going to challenge, I think, some people for this season to say, what is really my relationship with beauty, with rest, and with just trusting that I will receive. And a really good way to think about this or to watch it in your own life is what happens for you when you put the phone down, when you put the everything down and you just sit down to watch a TV show that you like. You just sit down to have a cup of tea. What happens in your body, in your being? Is that like desire? I gotta go. I have to physically move my body and do something, right? If this is what's coming up for you, it's okay. You can address that. There are so many somatic practitioners out there today helping you get all that, you know, out of your being so that you can learn to just be with this beautiful Venusian vibration. And also, beautiful friends, I know I keep talking about it, but really, truly, ladies, if you are out there suffering in abundance, suffering thinking the universe just wants you to be single forever, it forgot you, love has left you out, you know, if you're suffering with your cycle or you feel like I do not understand why I again have a job that I hate, right? Take the Venus Reset course that I've created, 22 days of cleaning out your pelvic floor and your sacred pelvic bowl, getting into the reproductive space, whether you have your reproductive organs or not. Venus vibrating through that cavity, bringing the awareness of receptivity, your own actual beauty. You know, it's a course that was downloaded through me to you direct from Venus. I got off of that plane in Spain and Venus sat me down and said, women need help. Here, I'm going to tell you some things. So come and take the course. It's absolutely beautiful. You take it on your own pace. Okay, plug over. All right, so just behind that, see, Friday is going. Friday's going. We've got some stuff going on. But just behind that, we're going to see Mars come into a sextile with Jupiter. And I love it because remember, the sextile creates a pocket of opportunity, but then we're intelligently taking action on it. So when Jupiter and Mars are working together, first of all, this is an entirely enthusiastic, inspired kind of energy. They're like, yes, let's do it. So Mars here is going to provide the action where it is like, okay, here's what I'm doing. But remember, Mars at this point is still in the vibration of Pisces. It's not home into Aries yet. So the action you're taking is very intuitively guided. It's very creatively guided, you know, and it's kind of like you're getting there. That's kind of what it can feel like. But Mars is providing that action and you're ready to do it. And then Jupiter is providing this expansion. And the thing that comes to mind is in Taurus, we have Jupiter expanding something foreign that has value. So sometimes what it can look like is, you know, you're learning something new. You're taking the action to go to the opportunity to learn something new, to explore something new. And even if it's in your native language, it can feel like the person is speaking words that you don't even understand because you're learning the lay of the land. You know, if somebody's teaching you about finance, they're teaching you about the Venus Reset program, they're saying all of these things that are not your innate words. So you're expanding in a way that maybe feels foreign to you, and you're kind of like you're on adult baby deer legs having to go towards it, but it's right. It's the right thing. It allows you to travel, to expand, and to be seated kind of in the hands of the universe as you learn, Jupiter, the next thing that's going to be of ultimate value to you in your world. So it's such a goodness. And remember, Jupiter is in Taurus. So this is still going to be, how do you receive? How do you receive information? How do you receive things that are in foreign context to you? Now, we could be thinking beyond that as well. For some of you, this may have things that have to do with immigration, the law, legal system, travel, things like that, okay? All right, now just after that, we get all of that goodness, then Mars and Uranus come into the sextile, right? So Mars is like a little something for Jupiter. Now it's time for a little something for Uranus. And Mars and Uranus are both happy to be about it. However, they're both in pretty uncomfortable signs, so their be about it maybe it may be a little bit less froggy. Okay. So we've got Mars over here in Pisces. We've got Uranus over here, obviously in Taurus. And as they come into a sextile, one of the things that can happen is like you're impulsive. The impulsivity can go through the roof. You're like, I better do it. I'm going right now. I just want to tell you to remember, Mercury is still retrograde. So if you do not have Mercury retrograde in your chart, this may be that you're going to take this firecracker action to leap something forward, and you're going to have to redo it later. Okay, which that doesn't make it bad, but it means just plan to redo it later. However, where I think it's really well placed is in something that you're trying to grow that has value to you, right? It's already been on your table and you're getting a new solution or a new perspective, or now somebody's been talking and teaching into your life and you're like, oh, I've been struggling with that forever. This is how I do it, because now you've been taught a different way to do it, think about it, look at it, whatever. Then you can leap back, leap into the solution to what's already on your table, not necessarily about leaping forward. Now, we'll see this aspect again October 25th. So whatever you leap at, coming today, we are going to see it again when we get into October, and we'll see what you built, okay? All right, now here we are, landed smack on the 20th, and first we're going to see the moon goes void, of course, before it gets into the vibration of Libra. But in that void, of course, period of time, we will also see Jupiter and Uranus come together for their conjunction. And this is this new cycle that they're traveling together in. So when planets make a new cycle, first of all, we realize that we're at the beginning of something big. We're at the beginning of something that creates an impact into the signatures of our lives. So you're not in the repeat of a cycle that's been here. This is something new, and it's something big that will catch your attention, okay? So first of all, this can be, we talk about it being windfalls or something that comes to you. It's Taurus. It's highly Venusian, right? It's coming to you. Venus is in Aries at this time. So it's very aggressively and maybe quickly, maybe fireistically coming to you, whether it be a solution to a challenge that you've been having, whether it's that you've been working on something and finally the finances on that thing are starting to pay off. Something that you're creating a long-term structure of value with, of, on, or around. And this is the opportunity where suddenly Uranus, it's here and you're able to expand with it. Now, depending on what your chart looks like, absolutely, this could be a time where, depending on the way your resources have been set up, you could actually see your resources kind of get pulled back, right? If there's not some structure around your finances, just as easily as it can create a windfall that comes to you, if there's not some kind of structure around your finances, or there hasn't been some kind of physical, material reality responsibility, we can see that it goes. But if it goes, usually if you remedy whatever happened for it to go, it'll come back. Here's a really prime example. Let's say that you didn't... technology, Uranus. Let's say you filed your taxes by yourself this year and you put a decimal in the wrong place, right? Okay, so what can happen is then the IRS takes too much money, gives you back too much money, whatever, and then down the road you go, oh, wait a minute, I missed a decimal point, and you get to correct it, and then the money comes back, right? So it's like, even if there's a mistake or something around your finances that goes, or something around a relationship that goes, you can ultimately have an opportunity to correct that down the road. Now, the other side of it that I think is like the peak is that whatever comes or whatever goes, it's usually really positive. Whatever comes or goes has a long-term impact, and you should let it be. If that relationship leaves, it's time for that relationship to leave. because your job at this conjunction and in Taurus energy is to calm the hell down. Let come to you what needs to come to you, which means also be with ease, grace, and beauty, and let leave what is not trying to come to you. Everything in your life needs to be running towards you in order for you to engage it. If things are running away, honey, let them run away. Taurus energy, calm the hell down and let it come to you, okay? All right, well, that's exciting. After that, we're going to see the moon get into the vibration of Libra. Now we're looking at getting a little bit more balanced. It has been a lot of energy kicked up since Wednesday, and it's just been moving. So it is a very movable week. So when we get to the moon coming into Libra, it's like, oof, okay, how am I? Am I in balance with me? Am I in balance with whatever I call a higher power? Do I feel like my emotions are in balance? Or, you know, do I need this next couple days to kind of settle in and to look at my partnerships, look at what I'm in partnership and relationship with, look at if I'm behaving just and fairly in my partnerships and come into balance, right? So it's a good 2.5 days to play with that. Now, Sunday, first of all, we see Venus in this conjunction with Chiron that is in Aries, and I love it again because Venus is attracting in, pulling in, pulling in. And this is a beautiful energy on Sunday to carry over that Jupiter and Uranus vibration, receive. Right now, it is in Aries, so I think it's a little bit more of an aggressive receptivity, but Venus in Aries here to me is the signal and the signature that you know you have a different identity, like you can hear your heart in a different way that makes you go, I need to receive. I need to be loved unconditionally, and I'm able and willing to do it. I choose this. Aries, I decide that this is how I'm going to do it now. I decide that this is what I'm going to let. I decide that I'm going to love unconditionally. I decide that I am going to make sure I've got my oxygen mask on before I'm trying to do everything for everybody else, because I learned on Saturday I have to calm the hell down. The Taurus area of your chart has to calm the hell down, right? And so I'm going to learn that in my calm, in my attracting, what I choose is only to move towards the things that are also moving towards me. And it's a beautiful, beautiful energy. So I would just offer that to you to visualize as we're traveling on Sunday, you only moving in flow to the things that are also moving towards you and choosing it. Choosing it. Aries, I choose this, and then you aggressively attract that beautiful energy to you. Now, on a very practical level, this may be the day where truly you are used to, or people are used to you doing everything. You're always finding the solution. You're always giving them a little extra money, and you're like, I'm not doing that today, right? So this conjunction could be really, really, really powerful. Okay, then as we're going to close out the day on Sunday, we see the sun in the square in a square to Pluto. Now, this particular aspect, I feel like every few weeks we have an aspect that brings us like, you have to have a breakdown before you have a breakthrough, right? The sun is vibing and bringing light, heat, life, and motivation into Taurus. So these are things in the material realm, and you are motivated to look at them, work with them, bring life to them at this particular point in the season. But it's squaring against Pluto that's in Aquarius. So old thinking, you have some old thinking, old ideas that maybe, you know, you're having to be patient and give yourself credit for patient progress that you're making in making changes in your material world, because this is also a fixed square. So something that's been going on for a very long time now has your attention. And if you've been feeling like, Stormie, I'm getting a little tired, I'm getting a little hopeless, make room for this aspect and the universe to surprise and delight you, to show you that miracles do exist, especially with patient progress, right? You are outgrowing and bringing new benefits into your life, years and years of thinking and being and stagnant energy or old ideas of what would make you happy and successful and vibrant, old ideas of what it means to trust a masculine container to provide for you, to protect for you, to allow you to be beautiful. Some of these concepts, Uranus or Pluto, have to do also with how you felt in your own own country, in your own community? Where have you felt like you were able to, Taurus, just receive and be easy and not have to always be on the hustle? So listen, patient progress is rewarded. And if you do feel like at this time there are old ideas that have been they're holding you down, they've been magnified, this week, this particular aspect may really be pointing it out to you, or it's pointing out something that's unconscious or hidden, and it's coming to the surface. And when things come into the light, we do something with them that can be really productive. Now, to the other side of it, Sun Pluto can also be completely obsessive compulsive, right? And you're stuck on something, like your head, like it's like tick, 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 and you cannot get off the wheel. You can't get the hamster off the wheel. In that case, what I would tell you to do is lean towards the Pluto and Aquarius side. Go to the people who are having the problem you're having. If you're like, how to turn my brain off, go look up that particular question on YouTube. If you find yourself leaning towards the Sun side and you're like, I want to know how to grow my finances, how to be stronger and more enduring and have a long-term relationship in my life, right? Go look up that content, or go to the groupings of people. Pluto and Aquarius, you're going to have help to break down old ideas that you were thinking, but with counsel, with mentorship, and with community, we can change. Because remember, people change because of people. So really a lot of energy working this week. It's not all bad, but it is definitely shifting. I look forward to seeing what is shifting, what's changing for you, what's coming up in your consciousness, and really, what is your relationship on a very deep level with ease, with pleasure? You know, ladies, let me know in your pelvic bowl area, your whole reproductive space down to your personal areas. How easily are you finding yourself flowering and opening and feeling safe to do so? Let me know in the comment section down below. I love you. I love you. I love you a ton. And I will see all of you beautiful friends next week. So make sure you check out your April horoscopes if you haven't done so already. Watch the video on how to find the active transit in your chart if that is something that you need help with as well. All right, friends, next week. Bye.